welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
Hello. I was thinking about doing a wacky character.
Oh,
and
okay.
I realized I am a wacky character, Nelson.
Yeah,
Just
but like,
being me.
But did you think about doing like a better one?
Not for this show.
Okay.
In general, yes, but never for this
Just like
show.
changing your personality, do you think?
Yeah, I could be Nigel Brimington, a very posh British man who's very offended by everything.
Oh, okay. Give us a go.
Hello, I'm Nigel Brimington. What's your name?
I'm Nelson.
I'm offended by that.
It's good. It's good, Cambo. Yeah. I'm drawn in by sort of his vibe. He's like,
Drawn isn't drawers, it's in underwear. Very offensive.
I love that he's offended by everything, Cambo. It's so...
You love that I'm offended? Oh, offensive.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot to explore and unpack there.
Do you think the joke will get old?
No, it's good. Just bring him out occasionally during the show.
Bring him out? You questioning my sexuality? You can't do that in 2023. Oh.
Well, I'm sorry you were offended by that, Nigel.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're offended unless you explicitly say so, okay? I don't want it to be implied that you are offended. You have to say that you are.
He's gone.
He was so offended he just left. He just left.
He might be back.
Yeah. I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Oh, who's that in the door?
Come in.
I'm offended, Nelson.
But why, Nigel?
He's gone.
All right. This first thread on Reddit is in the subreddit Unpopular Opinion. And it was by King Florfian. Giant.
You and I both just double checked that name.
Yeah.
Both just leapt into the screen.
Yeah. Giant burritos suck. The tendency for fast casual burrito places to load like 3 scoops of beans. Sorry, I just thought this one was so funny. Maybe it's dumb now going back over it. Okay. The tendency for fast casual burrito places to load like 3 scoops of beans, rice, and meat is gross. Like, it makes the burrito into a soggy mess that the workers can't even roll, and you basically just have like a ball wrapped in a tortilla that drips everywhere and eventually falls apart by halfway. When I go to these places, I have to emphasize to the workers to give me reasonable portions, and the workers look at me like I'm crazy. I want a structurally sound burrito. This is a textbook example of more is not always better.
I think we've found the Reddit throwaway account of Nigel Brimlington.
I'm offended by the burritos.
Are they wrong?
I don't think they're wrong.
I don't think they're wrong either.
I agree. I hate when you get like a super soggy. I actually even hate, those like giant burgers people get, and you go to these places and it's often, in Australia, it's like, try out it's like an American barbecue burger place.
Yeah.
And the burgers are just so gigantic. You're like, this is just a mess to eat.
Yeah.
I hate that. I feel like I need a shower afterwards because it just got everywhere. It's too messy. It's too big. Yeah, and I think the burritos are the same.
Yeah, if I'm eating fast casual Mexican, as they put it here, I will go tacos for this very reason. Is that they're just portioned better.
See, tacos I think is just crunchy tacos.
Oh, yeah. I'll go soft.
That's the worst. I don't know why anybody thought that would be a good vessel to put food in.
Yeah.
Something
Very
that
crackable.
you bite into and then just the ingredients go everywhere. Like, what an insane thing to think that was a good idea.
Yeah. So a soft shell taco, I will go.
Yeah.
Because judging on how stuffed they are will tell me how many I need to get.
Oh,
Whereas
yeah,
a burrito, I feel like you're locked into a whole burrito.
You've got the whole burrito. It's a lot in there. Although, I have to admit, every time I go to Subway, they say, what salads do you want? I say, give me everything. The other day, I said, I'll have everything. And I don't know how, but she thought I just said lettuce. So she put the lettuce on and she's like, is that it? And I was like, no.
Do you think
all
that's
of
it?
them. All of them. I said, I'll have anything. And the L, I guess she just really hung on to.
I'll have everything. I heard lettuce.
It was very confusing. Actually, this person in particular,
maybe you've misremembered it. Did she say, do you want everything? And you said, let us have it.
Let us have it all. Yeah, this person actually, have you ever had this experience with somebody that's really new at their job? And it's not necessarily just Subway, but like, I don't know, other services where they're like putting things together for you.
Yeah.
And you can tell they're new and they're just like unbelievably slow. And you're like, holy shit, like how can you be this slow at, in this case, making a sandwich?
Yeah.
Like I could not believe, like I was the only one in the store. It was obviously after the rush, but I was like, I think she's going so slow, it makes me think I'm on like candid camera. And it's just a joke as to be like, hey, how long will this guy just sit here patiently waiting for his sandwich to be made? That's how slow it was. Unbelievable. And the whole time, she's also making conversation with me about, don't you reckon that's such
I would imagine stopping to make conversation.
Yeah. Like, no, her hands were always doing something, but just like, oh God. Like, I reckon she reached for the lettuce, like, probably 3 to 4 times. I'm like, that's just one big handful and then, like, spread it out.
Yeah.
You don't need to, like, gingerly get a little bit more at a time.
They're sandwich artists.
Yeah, that's true.
Nelson.
Can't
rush art, can you?
Yeah, well, you can't. Yeah. But I could also tell she was a uni student. I know all about it. Start talking about you, actually. She's doing like a film course.
Oh, cool.
She wants to get into sound design.
and
I shit you not. This is how like
and
far
you were
I got
like,
into the conversation.
do you know Cambo? She's like, yeah, I know Cambo. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, she really wants to get into sound design because it's a lot easier to. And, there's a lot of people in her course that want to become directors. But, I think they'll wake up one day and realize, it's pretty hard to become a director.
They're not wrong.
And my sandwich still wasn't made. So that's what I had to
After
do.
all this, do you know her name?
Yeah. Don't know her name. I do not want to even think about it. And I bet you at the end of the day, she's going to go home and her family's going to be like, how's the day at Subway? She's going to be like, great. I had this awesome conversation with a customer. I think I really made his day.
Yeah.
I was just like, really like being nice and like, giving more attention than you would really get. Cameron, I just wanted my sandwich.
I will say this, Nelson. She may not be the best sandwich artist that Subway's ever had. Mm-hmm. She's a bloody good sound designer.
Oh, well, she could be rubbish. Who knows? I didn't get into details.
It's all the taking the time and the details of your sandwich that she puts into the sound design.
Talking about sound, when I asked for all the salads, she just heard lettuce. So I'm not confident that we will know this person in future for. She's not winning an Emmy for great sound design or whatever. Yeah. Anywho, my point was, I always get every salad in a Subway sandwich, and sometimes.
But what else do you get apart from lettuce?
Next time I'm going to get in and name every single
the
salad I won't. I'll name everything, but just do it one by one. And I'm going to do it in a weird order so that they get really annoyed about
keep
what
going
to
down
put.
one. Bit of lettuce. Oh, actually, I'll add that salami as well. Go down there.
Yeah.
Now a bit of capsicum.
Yeah.
Back
to the cheese. And yes, I will have it toasted. Take out all those ingredients and toast it.
And that's the bread we decided on, was it? Okay.
But yeah, I feel like that I get value bang for my buck with getting all the salads in a sandwich. But burrito, don't fill it up too much. No. It's insane. It's an insane thing. Anyway, not that an unpopular opinion, I would say.
I don't think so either.
Okay. Actually, you want to know another thing about correct portion sizes? Mm-hmm. I guarantee you that 80% of the McDonald's burgers that you've ever had in your life have had more than what's meant to be the standard ingredients in your... Okay, maybe if you're getting like a cheeseburger where it's just like a slice of cheese in it. But like if it's got any sort of salad in it, the amount of grams of lettuce that you're meant to put in makes it look like it's like 3 strands of shredded lettuce is basically the amount of grams you meant to put on.
You're saying the scary calories that you see in the McDonald's board under the nutrition information in fact, actually much scarier.
Yeah,
Because there's actually more calories in that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, I suppose it's only those ingredients that you are like putting out, which is the lettuce or like onion and stuff. So it's probably not that much more, but it is more. Anywho, let's move into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This is by Great to Bad J. What do you reckon that is?
Great to be a
gator.
Great to be a gator. And we
Great
knew
to be
that.
a gator. Yep. What really sucked as a kid, but he's fucking awesome as an adult?
So I actually saw this in the week, and this is something that Stacey and I have talked about before. Mm-hmm. We went over to someone's house for dinner, and they had 2 little kids.
Yeah.
And we were sitting outside with a little bit of cheese and a little bit of drink. Sit and a chat.
Yeah.
And those kids were losing their mind.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why do you want to sit down? It's so boring.
Yeah.
And we're both saying, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that
as a kid.
Yeah.
Being like, why would you want to do this?
Guys, we could be watching TV right now.
It's Nintendo 64 and they're not being played.
Yeah. We're about to play hide and seek.
And
anyone you can get out of this.
I get home and I sit down and I go,
so good to just sit
so
down.
good.
Yeah, the idea of
anything.
just talking to somebody else and that being the entertainment is crazy. Although I have to admit, there is still definitely a part of me, like, we'll have friends over and I will definitely enjoy the conversation. But inevitably, I'm like, hey, we should play like a game of something.
Yeah.
I will get board game out, some cards or something. I still need that. Whereas I feel like sometimes my parents would be like,
I had a full conversation with my sister the other day that I enjoyed, Nelson, about interest rates.
Whoa. Yeah, that's boring, Cambo.
It was boring, because, as you do as boring adults. My dad was there too.
Yeah.
He said, how are the interest rates? I said, don't worry, we locked ours for a little while. So
Yeah.
we're okay. My sister's like, oh, not us. We're almost doubled now.
Boy.
I mean, it was quite an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Obviously not interesting enough for me to ever repeat on this podcast, even though I have.
Yeah. Tell us more about, what does Nigel think about it?
Nigel,
we're busy.
Whoa.
All right, Nigel, I think we know how you feel about interest rates. So yeah, we get it.
He's gone.
Thank God. I don't like that guy. Another Nigel. I was talking about another Nigel. I was going to say, the thing for me was, this is like a weird one, I feel, but I used to hate having a shower when I was a kid.
Okay.
I think it's probably not that uncommon, when I think about it.
I felt like I wouldn't say I hate them.
Yeah.
But like I'd never choose to do it.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. Because even my like niece and nephew, I remember like I looked after them recently and they were just like, ugh, I have to have a shower before like dinner and stuff. But now as an adult, especially, I mean, we're in winter at the moment, and getting in a shower and being nice and warm and just sort of sitting in the nice warm water for a bit, it's quite soothing and relaxing.
What
I
about
miss it.
going to bed early?
That is pretty good.
Sometimes, if I reckon I can get away with it, I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to head to bed.
I know it's only 8 o'clock, but
it doesn't matter. I'm tired.
Yeah, that is true. It's
just
funny
going
actually.
to bed in general, I would say.
Yeah, probably. That's true. I'm more happy to do just sleeping in general. I mean, it was more my teenage years, I feel like, where I really went from being a kid and not really wanting to be, like, bed was just such a crappy time.
Boring,
Sleeping is a crappy time. But then being a teenager and be like, I just want to sleep constantly.
Yeah.
This is a great feeling. And then becoming an adult, and there's like, I've hit the middle ground where I'm like, I enjoy getting a good night's rest, but I'd prefer to not waste my day by sleeping for like 12 hours.
Oh, yeah, sleeping in. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, let's move into Today Advice.
So now it's time for Today I Learned. What are you doing that?
Today I learned.
And also sometimes advice.
All right, Cambe. This one is quite long and actually a bit heavy.
Okay.
But I just really wanted to do this because I read it and I was like, I don't even have much to say about it.
Okay.
But I just felt like it needs to be said.
All right. We'll put on that handbrake.
This is by Sai31123. Cousin, female 24, falsely accused me, male 31, of sexual assault. Now my family is contacting me after almost 10 years. I'm probably going to skip some stuff, actually. Hi, I've never had an account on Reddit before, but someone on another forum linked this subreddit, and I've been reading some stories. If this is the wrong subreddit, this is stuff that I could have skipped, Cambo, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to skip a little bit. I'm 31 now. In 2014, when I was 22 and attending uni, I got a phone call from my mother that turned my life upside down. I remember I didn't even answer at first because I was gaming with friends, but she called again immediately after the first call. This was an unwritten rule in the family. If you call twice, like that, it's important. Like someone died, important. So when she called again, I excused myself and answered. By the way, I have the same rule kind of with my mum. Mm-hmm. She'll call and, like, you know, if I'm busy, same sort of thing. Maybe I'm gaming with friends. Like, I'll
You
leave
screen
it.
a call, as you often do.
I often screen my mum's calls. And then she'll call again. I'm like, I better answer it. And she's like, hey, Nelson, what is that book that you read in like 6th grade? What was The Outsiders? Yeah, cool. Okay. All right. All right. Have a good day. Bye. Not important. Anyway, so should we call to excuse myself? I excused myself and answered, only to hear chaos on the other end, like people were arguing. But when my mum realized I had answered, it sounded like she went to another room and closed the door. I just asked what was going on, and I heard she was crying. My memory of this conversation is a bit blurry, but she basically asked me if I had something to confess to regarding E. E is my cousin on my mum's side and is 7 years younger than me, 15 at the time. At that point, I hadn't even seen E for several years. I just said no and asked what this is about. She just cried even harder and started accusing me of sexually assaulting E back when we were children, that E had told everything to my sister, and that my sister told my mother and my aunt. E had told them that back when she was 9 and I 16, she'd been playing in my room when I came in and started feeling her under her clothes and kissing her. My mother screamed at me to say something, but I couldn't even speak. It was all so absurd. I remember thinking that must be some bad joke. The last thing I remember saying was that it's not true and that E is lying. But then my mum goes on saying that how E gave such a detailed description of where and how. And then she kept asking something like, did you do this? Did you do this? And I just screamed back at her, no, each time. It all ended with my mum putting me on speaker and both my mum and dad saying that they don't want anything to do with me and never to contact them again. 2 of my sisters texted me later that day, pretty much saying that I'm disgusting and then blocked me. I know it's weird, but after that call, I went to have a long shower. To this day, I still don't know why I did that. After calming down, I started calling and texting everyone, even E. No one answered, and the ones who hadn't blocked my number by then quickly did so. The only thing I heard back was from my father, who texted me to stop contacting them and that they need to heal. That was 9 years ago, and I haven't spoken to anyone in my family since that day. To say this has fucked me up is an understatement. I was living in a haze for weeks after that and hardly ate at all. It didn't help that this was the night before I was supposed to defend my bachelor's thesis and was already stressed out. Luckily, my co-writer sensed something was up and saved me by controlling the conversation so that I got the easy parts. Without him, I'm sure I would have failed. Needless to say, no one came to my graduation. Then started the worst period of my life. I spent the first year expecting the cops to knock on my door and arresting me for sexual abuse. I didn't land any jobs, just living off my saved money. I drank a lot and did oxy. I also grew resentful and violent. The only reason I didn't hurt anyone is because no one was around. My neighbor called the cops on me once after I had smashed a glass, but I managed to convince the officers that I had just dropped it, and they went away since there were no others inside my apartment. Instead of sleeping, I spent my nights planning how I could hurt E and make sure no one ever found out, even thinking how I could actually do the things she accused me of, but much worse. I know, I'm not proud of that. I landed my first real job in my field in late 2015. Only then did things start to improve. I focused all my time on my job as it gave me something normal to do. Recovery was a slow process, but I drank less, sober now for 4+ years, and smiled more. I lived cheap and earned good money, so I made a point of buying myself a nice gift for my birthdays, a VR headset, a motorcycle, Lego, etc. And last year I moved from my shitty apartment and bought a small house. It was an old dream of mine to have my own garage and a garden to care for. This has boosted me even more. So my life is okay now. I still got problems. I've been on antidepressants for the last few years, and while they help, it's not in a happy way. They simply remove the dark thoughts and replace them with the dead ones. My trust in other people is close to non-existent. I've tried dating, but only been on 2 dates with 2 different women. It's really hard to speak like a normal person when it comes down to it. And what would I tell a potential partner when they ask about my family? Oh, you know, they accused me of a heinous crime and were not talking to me anymore, but I didn't do it, I swear. My field is very male dominated. The only women I speak to really is my therapist, who I like a lot. If this text was too difficult to follow, I apologize. I'm not good with words on the best of days, and I started rambling a bit when it all came back to me. It's already getting long, so I'll fast forward to my current issue. A few days ago, I received a text from my mother. It felt unreal, and I was scared to open it at first, so I just stared at the notification for hours before opening it. Yesterday, another text followed. Translated, they basically say, Text 1, Hi, my name. It's been so long since we talked. We miss you and want to know how you're doing. He or she writes a long text about my sisters and how my nieces and nephews are getting big. I didn't even know I was an uncle. Know that we love you and always will. Mum and Dad. Text 2. Hi, my name. We understand if you don't want to talk to us after what happened, but please listen. Last month, the subject of you was brought up at a family gathering. During this, E was downplaying everything that had happened to her. It got so awkward that she finally admitted that nothing happened and that she probably just dreamt it. We were all appalled by this. When we last spoke, we wanted to protect E and did the only thing we thought we could do. We know that's not excusing how you were treated. What E did was wrong, and we're all angry at her. We have called everyone that knew and told them the truth. We all want to speak with you, and your sisters want you to meet their families. Please write back if you can find it in you to forgive us, Mum and Dad. So yeah, that's my situation right now. I haven't answered, but they no doubt know I've seen it. Truth be told, I'm seething. So many old shitty memories are now stirring again. I don't want to forgive them, and I wouldn't trust myself to be in the same room as them for right now. Part of me wants to call my family and unleash everything on them, to guilt them with everything I went through until they all hit their rock bottom, then dedicate my life to make my cousin's life as miserable as possible. The other part wants to ignore them and continue with my okay-ish life with my motorcycle and my garden to keep me company. I don't have any friends. The only people I speak to are my co-workers, but we're not really close. I've called my therapist clinic, but they told me she's on vacation, won't be available for a few weeks, and I don't want anyone else than her. So that leaves internet strangers. So please, where to go from here? Do I ignore them and continue or do I answer? And if so, what to even write? I'm pretty sure meeting them in person would be a bad idea for a foreseeable future, but I'm not sure how my life can improve from picking up those old threads. As embarrassing as it may sound, I've dreamed about the day when they apologized to me, to be them throwing themselves to the ground and kissing my feet. Texting seems so anticlimactic now.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty heavy.
That was long and heavy, and I apologize to everybody. But I thought that was this is actually my worst nightmare. It is being accused of something so heinous and being completely innocent.
And not being able to disprove it.
Yeah. Like, because all you've got to say is, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I say I didn't. Like, it's such a scary thought for anyone, you know, like... and for anyone and for any kind of crime, you know, there's certain things I think you can be accused of, and I just feel so sorry for this person and what they've gone through would just be so horrendous.
For the most part, he seems pretty level-headed. There's obviously some stuff there where you can see, okay, he's
Yeah,
angry,
yeah.
like he wants to hurt his cousin.
resentful and stuff, which I like totally get. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you know, you hope he'd never act on that, but it's almost warranted. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, not to literally do that thing, but the
To-
thoughts of
yeah,
having
the
it
thoughts,
is
yeah.
warranted. You know,
It does scare me that because their therapist is away, they turn to the internet,
yeah,
which has not been that kind to women.
not the
And
best.
this situation is a false accusation by
Yeah.
a woman.
yeah.
There's a certain corner of the internet that will be like,
Yeah.
yes, this is my time to put my opinions online.
The thread has been locked, Cameron.
Yes.
I imagine that's because
Yes.
admins had to deal with a lot of people like that. But just such a interesting and tragic story that you'd hope no one ever has to go through. It makes me think of, it's kind of a weird leap, but in the sense of hearing people being accused of something and them only being able to say, no, trust me, I didn't.
Yeah.
We get that a lot in the like celebrity world. I mean, people with, that are in the media consistently. It's so easy for somebody to accuse them of something, and not necessarily something as big, even just, to a small degree, just being a dick or whatever, and then just saying like, it's not me, it's like it's a flaw in our in the human world, where you can just accuse somebody of something, and it's very hard to just.
And I would have to imagine, I think I have to imagine this just to make it acceptable, that it was 15 or so at the time.
Yeah.
Can't have known what would happen to this guy by saying that,
Yeah.
Like that it would cut him off from his family and drive him to depression and oxy. I'm sure there's a difference between someone that's emotionally immature and a fully grown person knowing what they're doing. So I need to think that is also part of it.
Do you know my real life example of this is when I was I've told this story before of how I got suspended from school because we hacked into this guy's email.
Yep.
We sent an email to his mum from his own account saying that he was on drugs and he wasn't coming home.
Yeah.
And for us, we were like, this is hilarious. And because it's not true, and like his mum would, like, we thought he would know or whatever, but it just turned out like, this was so long ago. I feel old at this age, but they didn't have the internet at home, so she had to check it at work, and so then was like instantly crying and on the phone. It was just one of those things where we just
didn't realize the consequence of your action.
Didn't realize the consequence, and I feel like this would probably be one of those same sort of things, like perhaps just somebody wanting a bit of attention for a moment and not thinking that it would last so long. And
seeing the fallout and being like, oh, I'm going to keep my mouth shut about that because you don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
It's a terrible kind of spiral.
Yeah, it really sucks. Anyway, should we just have like a good 20 seconds of silence?
All right, ready?
Yeah. I didn't mean to laugh.
20 seconds is pretty long.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
I'm just glad Nigel's incoming. I'm going to be
Yeah, oh my God, he would have made himself into the whole thing. All right, let's move into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought is by Richard Motorgate. It feels weird that I've definitely gone from one thing. I think we needed to do the full 20 seconds, Campbell. It wasn't long enough. Okay. This is by Richard Motorcade. Thanks to Bluey, there's an entire generation of non-Aussie kids that will be using Aussie slang.
So I saw this come up in my Reddit wonders, and I thought, oh, what are kids saying? Because I don't watch Bluey. What are kids saying? And I opened up the thread. I don't know any of these phrases.
Oh, really?
I think they're like Bluey specific, maybe.
Okay.
So there's this one person. So I've opened this up. Lima Charlie said, my kids refer to money as $bucks and ask me to pull over the car so they can do a bushwee.
Bushwee's a thing.
Yeah, I guess.
My
Your-
family says bushwee. I love bushwee.
Yeah.
But dollar bucks
Dollar
is
bucks.
not.
We call them dollary doos, and you will respect the Simpsons
Yeah, we
for properly showing our
honestly,
culture.
It was embarrassing when that episode of The Simpsons came out and they said dollary dues, and all Australians were like, "Oh, that's what
Yeah.
we should have been calling it."
A dirty Grode also says, my daughter says, biscuits all the time.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, I think it is
Is
for
it?
everything. Again, it's like I don't know, more specific, and but that happens. Singer biscuits.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Yeah, I reckon that's a thing.
I've heard cunt a lot.
I've been saying that's what I was assuming would happen. All these kids running around like, "Oh, you fucking cunt!" I think that's what's more likely to happen. Yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily a good thing for more kids around the world to have some Australian slang in their vernacular. That's not very good.
Yeah, I mean, one person says, US guy here can confirm I've been greeted twice the same week with "G'day, mate." That's classic Australian.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, some of them I was like,
I very rarely say g'day.
I find that I am more Australian than I think sometimes
Yeah.
because, and it depends.
When you
who
wake
I'm-
up in the morning and do a shoey.
yeah,
This is pretty Australian.
Right, hop on my kangaroo and ride to work. And it also depends who I'm meeting. So we like in my job, we have people come in all the time into like studios and stuff, and you have to greet them. And sometimes I'm just way more Aussie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, g'day, mate. Like, and it's like, I don't often think that I say that a lot.
Yeah.
But if it's a complete stranger, sometimes I say mate a lot.
Yeah.
I will call people mate a
Yeah,
lot.
mate, I use a lot. Yeah.
Especially if I see someone that I know, I'm like, hello, mate.
Yeah.
Like, that's my go-to greeting. But yeah, I find it funny. Like sometimes I'll just catch myself being like, oh, that was pretty Australian.
Yeah. Pretty Aussie. Here's another one. This is by Dingbat.
Oh, so just quickly. Shots Bicycle 9186 said, my kids call everyone cunts. Thanks, Bluey.
They know what's up.
So I saw that before I was closing the tab. I just
Yeah. Did they say? I imagine Struth would come out. You reckon Struth would be on Bluey? Bluey?
Blowy.
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 That's a different show on the internet normally. As if they haven't invented something called a Bluey Shoey, by the way.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Dingbat Homesteader says, anyone who has ever had someone try to walk in on them while they are pooping knows that it is far more likely that you will have the shit scared into you. Not out of you.
Should we
it's so
change
true.
this phrase?
I think we should change race.
scared
Like,
the
oh
shit
my
into
god,
me.
you scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to be shitting for weeks. That's what should follow, I think, the phrase. Because it's true.
It is funny that is you do clench and put like shit into you as if you don't want people to know what you're doing.
Yeah. Suck it up.
Yeah.
Don't let
I was
anything.
I was just sitting here.
Yeah. This is by Pob Robert. The jobs that AI might be best suited to replace are executive level positions.
Yeah, I mean I feel like this is especially with the writer's strike and the actor's strike and whatnot at the moment. I feel like it's quite a common thing, but like a sentiment. I would say that's probably why they're doing what they're doing to not have it shined on them.
I mean, I think this is not the case at all.
No.
And not how AI works.
No.
AI does do the very basic low-level stuff that's like repetitive tasks that you don't need any
I'm sure there are
sort of decision-making on.
I'm sure there are middlemen executives that you could probably replace with some kind of AI.
Yeah. Well, that's because their job is purely to manage
Yes.
the people doing the...
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think that... I don't know. I just thought this was a funny... I think this was somebody to be like, did you know all you executives, you're just replacing your own jobs. I'm like, I think they're the safest, actually. The people that are making the decisions of like, what's the strategic direction in which we should take our business? AI is not at all like close to that point, especially because sometimes it's about going against the curve, like taking a chance on something.
Yeah.
As an example, pretty random example, but the idea of Netflix when it first came out, like its big selling point was like, we're just going to release everything at once and you can binge it. And that was a huge thing, right? Whereas in the past, it was like, release one at a time, kind of have people talk about your show for a longer period of time and whatever. And I think, and it's kind of gone back to that. But I think it was important for Netflix to like do that to begin with. And if you were just going by like a stats-based thing, an AI would never go to that extent.
It is also true of the fact that they said that we are going. They were originally a DVD rental service, right? They would mail you out DVDs and stuff. And they said, we're going to put everything online so you can just stream it. And there was, think at that time, especially with things like Blockbuster and whatnot, where they'd say, well, the quality won't be as good. And it's true. If you get a Blu-ray disc, 4K Blu-ray disc is going to look a lot better than streaming something 4K on Netflix. Because you have to reduce the bit rate to make it stream, to get it, blah, whatever. And it just turns out people didn't care.
Yeah,
because convenience was far, far more important than people than higher bit rate quality video.
Yeah, that's right.
But the thought at the time was like, well, people won't want lesser quality. And it turns out that people didn't care.
Yeah. And anyway, the point being, I feel like these sort of decisions aren't things that, at least at the moment, the AI that is actually taking over jobs is not the ones that's able to make these sort of business decisions that will change the trajectory of, and get your product out there. So, I think executives are fine. And they're the ones pushing AI so they can replace all the people below them so that they don't have to deal with shitheads.
That being said, pay fucking writers.
Nah, pay AI. Can't pay. Pay AI. What do you need writers for anymore? Dear ChatGPT, write a good story, please.
Make it good. I've asked you before, you made it shit. Make this one good.
Yeah. In fact, I've asked you a lot of times and they've all come out shit. But this time, do it good.
And it just goes, you just had to ask.
Yeah. You didn't put that in your prompt the first time.
Before we move on, there is one more shower thought here. And I just have one quick thought about it. So do you want to read it?
Yeah, okay. This is by Alendrian Roch. The light that tells you caps lock is on really ought to be closer to the caps lock button.
My thing is this person uses a PC. Yeah. I can tell you that because hit caps lock on that keyboard in front of you.
Oh my God, Cambe. It's on.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't see.
Because
there's so much light in this room, I can't tell that it's on.
Yes, on Mac.
It's not good enough.
The button on the caps lock is on the caps lock.
I don't know right now if it's on or off. So
no way of knowing.
Yeah.
I can see it here.
That one's much. Yeah.
It might be a battery thing.
Yeah, okay. It's true that it is on a lot of keyboards. But here's the thing that I reckon we should have one scientist every week that goes onto Reddit, goes through some of the shower thoughts and was like, oh my God, this one's so obvious. Yeah, okay, the keyboards already exist. But then I think that scientist can make the executive decision for the world where he goes, all right, throw out all the old keyboards. and then we all get shipped a new keyboard.
Yeah.
And it's very clear that the caps lock is on and society has progressed through this way. Because sometimes you need the Redditors of the world just to point out something obvious and we go, why? Why is it so separated? I imagine that would have been more difficult to program in when they made the first like caps lock light. Mm-hmm. The fact that they were like, no, let's put it in the top right corner really far away. Like that's dumb. Yeah. Fire that person. Anyway,
if we didn't make it clear enough, on Mac keyboards, the light is on the key.
Oh yes. All right, Kimbo, let's get into podnapping.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped. Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another thing and we do it ourselves. Oh boy. Okay, so it's my week this week, and speaking of AI, I just said to ChatGPT, "Hey, give me a bunch of fact or fiction things."
And make it good.
And shit! Oh,
no, Nelson! What have we learned?
Oh no, that's not good. No, actually, I did. I asked to do it twice. The first one, it was like, I don't know, really obvious stuff like H2O is water. Fact. And I was like, that sucks. So then I said, do facts that are like less likely to be known. Yeah. So anyway, and then also I've just copied it and pasted it in, and it's coming in a really weird format. Anyway, let's see how this goes. Also, we know that AI will often sometimes say something that it is so confident that is true, and it might not be. And so I have not checked these facts in case somebody wants to write in.
So this is...
Don't write into me. Write into open up
AI,
ChatGPT on your computer and say, hey, did you know you got this wrong?
Yeah, so this is fact or fiction as according to...
As according to ChatGPT.
Okay.
Cool. This first one. The longest time between two twins being born is 87 days.
False?
It's fact.
According to ChatGPT.
According to ChatGPT. I also want to point out, I have no extra context. Like, that seems interesting. I want to know the logic of this. How exactly did that work? 87 days is pretty significant.
So it must be the same labor.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's like...
What determines a twin... Share the womb, but if they're...
Sharing the womb, I'm assuming one was born early. Because so it might have been like one was premature, and then the other one was born. So there might have been like a cesarean type situation, get one out, and then another 87 days later. I'm guessing that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyway.
it is crazy how that can kind of work. Like one is, several months older than the other.
Yeah.
I read just today, and this isn't from ChatGPT, but it was unverified on Reddit, so it's just as good.
Yeah.
That there was an embryo that was frozen in 1991.
Yeah.
And used in 2017.
Wow.
To a person born in 1992.
Whoa.
So the embryo is actually 1 year older than the mother.
That is so wild. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. The letter E is the most commonly used letter in the English language.
False.
It is false. Do you know what the most commonly used letter is?
I, maybe?
I have no idea, Cambo.
Yeah.
I didn't ask ChatGPT for the answers.
I'm vibing that it's probably a vowel, though.
Yeah, probably a vowel. Yeah. Octopuses have 3 hearts.
True.
Fact. True.
Yeah.
The Great Wall of China is visible from the moon.
False.
False. The shortest war in history lasted 38 minutes.
True.
It is true.
It's probably a technical war. I'm gonna say.
Yeah. One of those ones where they declared it, and then they were like,
Oh, shit! Sorry, did I say war?
I meant to tick the not declare war box of this form. The unicorn is the national animal of Scotland.
True.
Yes. The total weight of all the ants on Earth is greater than the weight of all of everything else.
Oh, of everything else.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, wrong. No, of all humans. Yes, true.
Yeah. I went to pub trivia the other night, and that was one of the questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you've been cheating.
Yeah.
Guaranteed pub trivia. Talk about something that's going to be AI taking over. Definitely pub trivia. The Hawaiian alphabet only has 12 letters.
I think this could be one of the technically false ones. I'm going to say false.
It is false.
Where it'd be like, oh, it's actually like 18 letters. Also.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know.
We don't know. I didn't ask. I'm not interested. I mean, I am interested. But
It sounds like it's pretty.
I mean, it could be boring if it's like, no, it's 26.
Yeah. It's a regular alphabet, you racist.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Hawaiian alphabet. What are you talking about?
The dot over the letter I is called a tittle.
True.
It is true. Good job. There are more possible iterations of a game of chess than there are atoms in the known universe.
Oh, I heard sands of grain on a beach is the version I heard of. But I'll say true based on it's meant to be a big number.
It is true. Yeah. That's really amazing to me. But it'd be interesting to know, right? Mm-hmm. Because, yes, iterations of a chessboard, totally crazy number. But what would be interesting is iterations of a chessboard where the two players at least know roughly how to play chess.
Yeah.
Would probably be far less.
Yeah.
Because, you could move a knight back and forth or something, I don't know. Anyway, a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance.
True.
It is true. That's kind of cool. I don't know why. I like that.
A flamboyance of flamingos.
Yeah, a flamboyance of flamingos.
I know somebody you shouldn't tell, and I'll be very offended.
Scotland has 421 words for snow.
Two Scottish facts, eh? The other one was true, so I'll say this one is false.
Oh, you've got it, Kemba. It is false. They have 420. No, I don't know, Kemba. I don't know. The shortest war in history was between Britain and Zanzibar on August 27th,
Probably about 38 minutes, I would say. True? Is it the same war?
It is true, and I'm guessing it follows the other fact. It was only 38 minutes long. The collective... Do you reckon it was because Zanzibar declared war on Britain?
Yeah.
And they left the room and somebody was like, are you fucking kidding me? Britain? Hello?
They took over so much of the world at one point.
We will lose this war.
Remember India? They just took over that. It's crazy.
The collective noun for a group of crows is murder.
Murder, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That was an easy one. How a honey never spoils. Archaeologists have found edible honey in ancient Egyptian tombs thousands of years old.
I've heard that honey never spoils. I don't know if it's necessarily actually true, but I'll say true.
It does say true. Yeah. A jiffy is an actual unit of time.
True.
Yes. 1/100th of a second.
Yes. I want that on QI, so I've been cheating.
Oh, can't bet you cheater.
And a moment is also a measurement of time.
Oh, right. The first oranges weren't orange. They were green.
True.
It is true. That's wild.
I'm doing pretty good at vibing these.
You are pretty good. Like, some of them are like, yeah, definitely not. But then the others that you're like not 100% sure of, I feel like you're nailing. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Who knows if they're right?
Why are they called oranges then?
I believe.
Explain that.
I believe the fruit actually came before, naming of the fruit actually came before the color as well.
Yeah, that makes it more confusing.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah. And we don't know and we don't care.
We don't care. The longest English word without a vowel is rhythms. Go through all English words.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Rhythms. Pretty long word.
Not that long, though.
Yeah, but without a vowel.
Like if someone said write down rhythms, you wouldn't be like, oh, God. I've only got one pen.
What now? You want me to do it now?
The whole thing. Well, I like to start my words with vowels first. Wait a minute.
A day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus.
Yeah, I guess the rotation. It could be true. It could. I can see a world in which that. I understand.
Not beyond the realm of possibility.
True.
It is true.
Yeah.
In fact, it's quite interesting. Yeah. A group of flamingos is called a pat?
Aren't they called a flamboyance?
Yes.
So I'm going to say false.
It's so funny that I didn't
didn't
fact
check.
check these, but yeah, it definitely just would have been wild if it said true. Oh yeah, that ended really anticlimactically.
We expect nothing more from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Because again, you didn't tell it to make it good.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one. Octopuses have 2 hearts. Anyway, that was something. That was a lazy one this week. I just couldn't be bothered, Cambo. Let's be honest. All right, we should do this AMA though. This now it's time for Ask Me Anything. Where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
I just realised there's no name next to this one. Do you know who this is by?
Well, I mean, I assume that if somebody doesn't specifically put their name,
Okay.
they don't want their name.
This is
to
by Mysterious.
I mean, they have signed it off.
Okay, yeah, well, fair enough. We'll get to that then. It says, this is my first time writing in, so hi!
Hi!
And then colon, and then uppercase O, and then colon, and then uppercase D. Mm-hmm. I can't think of any other way that they would be expressed.
I think that's code.
Yeah.
Yeah. For your shit.
How
We get it.
How many people would you, hypothetically, murder to save your life/lives? If you don't have to look. It's just at the click of a button and somebody evaporates, guaranteed not to be a family member or friend. Yours/mine, truly, a sentient pair of scissors. P.S. This font looked much cooler, much better when I first chose it.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
It is, can we say, Comic Sans.
Comic Sans is a great font. Just quickly.
Yeah.
If there was anything sentient in the world, scissors has got to be one of the most scariest.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Unless they're like those craft scissors they give like primary school, preschool kids.
Oh, yeah, the safety scissors. Oh, yeah. I could take on some sentient safety scissors. Actually, does sentient mean it's just technically just aware of itself?
Yeah, it can't move itself. I guess.
Then honestly, sentient anything is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Unless it can control
Sentient
its own body.
incapable. Yeah, we're talking.
All right, yeah. How many people would you hypothetically murder to save your life/lives?
I don't know if there's a number. As long as I'm okay.
Infinite, Cambo.
Yeah.
Here's a funny thing. I did think about this because I read it earlier in the week. I actually think it is infinite.
Yeah.
Like, totally, truthfully.
It's one of those things where it's guaranteed not to be a family member or friend. So your culpability and the ignorance
Yeah.
really, really shields you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To be like,
Well-
no consequence. I mean, there is, but not that I perceive.
Yeah.
Bop, boom.
No, this is what I thought. Because I was like, okay, it's easier for us to initially say, well, no, because we don't want to kill somebody just for to save our life. We probably wouldn't do it. But the truth is, if you thought about this in a realistic sense, there's like 2 scenarios that I can think of where anyone would always kill the person to save their life, which is, let's say somebody's going to murder you and you have the opportunity to murder them before they do.
Yeah.
I was like, everybody, like, okay, there would be some people that just still wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would say like 80% of people at least would kill that person before they are killed. And that's just like, even without this little like click a button and don't have to like actually do it. I'm like, if people had the means to stop somebody from murdering them and murder them themselves, they would do it. And then the other example I thought is like war and stuff like that, where you might even not necessarily want to, but your fear of even just like, well, one, being killed yourself, that's the idea of the question, but also, I know, something more serious like that, like you're trying to stand up for your values or your homeland if you're being invaded or whatever like that. Like, there's reasons why you would murder somebody to save your life or it is. I just feel like everybody, like, it really would be an infinite number given the right circumstances all the time.
Do you think that if you had this little clicker and say you were at home and someone was breaking into your home and you saw them and they were like going to attack you, you'd press the button just in case?
Right, yeah, because it's not killing them. It's just like
no,
because
it could. You don't know them. It could kill them.
Maybe that's
Worth a shot.
Maybe that's
Give it a click.
That's
See
the whole
if they
point.
evaporate.
That's what it does. It's like it's meant to be a mysterious button, but really, you press a button, and then just some like pro wrestler comes out and beats up the person that's going to hurt you. But yeah, it would be trickier to say like, okay, somebody's breaking in. They're like, hey, I'm going to murder you. And you press a button knowing that it's not even them. It's just going to be somebody else in the world.
Yeah.
That's a trickier
So what do
scenario.
they, in that, okay, someone breaks in, gun to your
Yeah.
head, I'm going to murder you.
Yeah.
You press the button.
Yeah.
What does that person then do?
Yeah,
They're like,
their
all right, well.
their gun turns into a water gun.
Yeah.
And they squirt you, and they're like, "Oh my god,
I'm so embarrassed. I need to leave.
This is wild. I'm getting out of here."
Might kill someone on my way home, though.
yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Look,
people.
we know it's not cool to admit
yeah.
that we will let many people die, so we all
We'll
can live.
fucking murder anyone. No, generally, if we're just going by the like, I don't know, I just want to live longer. Let's say,
Yeah.
I wouldn't press a button or anything for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could be a podcast listener, Cambo.
That's true. But they could also be a rival podcaster.
Oh, you know what? It's a risk I'm willing to take. I will press the button. All right. Thank you for adding in a sentient pair of scissors. If you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com. You can also reach us at our Discord.
Correct.
And our subreddit.
Yes.
And nothing else. We'd also appreciate it. Like, honestly, okay? We've had somebody write in for the first time ever. They're a new listener.
Yeah.
We know there's new listeners out there, all right?
We've got the
You sons
data.
of bitches. We haven't pressured you for a while now.
Yeah.
But I'm pressuring you now.
Yeah.
Rate the show.
Yeah.
Leave a review.
Yeah.
Only good ones. We don't want the bad ones. Fuck off with your bad ones.
And write in.
And, and write in as well.
I feel like
write
that's
in.
where you were originally going with
We'll
that.
answer it. No, I just meant the rating thing.
Yeah, okay,
I mean,
yeah.
can write in. No, but write in. Too.
Write in.
Are you a sentient thing?
Yeah, write in.
Write in. So thanks for listening, and we will read you later.